for Democracy protests. This and many more stories coming up shortly on Worldview Today. Many thanks for joining us on Worldview Today. We begin today's news from the White House, where U.S. President Donald Trump said the U.S. will impose an additional 10% tariffs on any country aligning themselves with the anti-American policies of the Brics groups of developing nations, whose leaders kicked off a summit in Brazil. With forums such as G7 and G20 groups of major economies hamstrung by divisions and the disruptive America First approach of the US president, the BRICS is presenting itself as a haven for multilateral diplomacy amid violent conflict and trade wars. In a joint statement from the opening of the BRICS summit in Rio de Janeiro, released on Sunday afternoon, the group warned the rise in tariff threatened global trade, continuing its veiled criticism of Trump's tariff policies. However, hours later, Trump warned he would punish countries seeking to join with the groupings. Trump said in a post on Truth Social that any country aligning themselves with anti-American policies of BRICS will be charged an additional 10% tariff. This will be no exception to these policies. Thank you for your attention to this matter. In the meantime, leaders of the BRICS groups of developing nations prepare to address the shared challenges of climate change today, the final day of the summit in Rio de Janeiro, demanding that wealthy nations fund global mitigation of greenhouse emissions. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva touted the importance of the Global South in tackling global warming as he prepares to host the United Nations Climate Summit in November. Still, a joint statement from BRICS leaders released on Sunday argued that fossil fuels will continue to play an important role in the global energy mix, particularly in developing economies. In a joint statement, BRICS leaders underscored that providing climate finance is a responsibility of developed countries towards developing countries. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump has said that the United States is close to finalizing several trade pacts in coming days and will notify other countries of higher tariff rate by July the 9th, with the higher rate set to take effect on August the 1st. Since taking office, Trump has set off a global trade war that has roiled financial markets and set policymakers scrambling to protect their economies through efforts such as deals with the United States and other countries. In April, Trump unveiled a base tariff rate of 10% on most countries and additional duties ranging up to 50%, although he later delayed the effective date for all but 10% until July 9th. The new date offers countries a 3-week reprieve. Let's move away from that. Suriname's parliament backed Jennifer Simmons as the South American country's first woman president, setting the doctor and former parliamentary speaker on course to help a nation of the cups of a predicted oil boom. Suriname's lawmakers backed Simmons as president 6 weeks after the ruling party and its top opposition nearly tied in the race for legislative seat, leading to a coalition deal to install Simmons as president. Simmons' opposition National Democratic Party won 18 seats, and current President Chang Sang-Tokyo Progressive Reform Party now won 17 seats in the May 25 parliamentary election. Smaller parties won the remaining 16 seats. In a sad development, at least 81 people have been confirmed dead and another 41 are missing following flash floods in central Texas on Friday. Most of the fatalities were in Kerr County, where a Riverside Christian girls' camp was deluged, claiming the lives of a number of children and leaving others missing. Other areas to record deaths include Travis County, Barnett County, Williamson County, Kendall County, and Tom Green County. Figures are changing quickly as the rescuers continue to search for missing, and officials say the death toll is certain to continue rising. Many of the bodies are yet to be formally identified. Many of the affected areas remain on flood watch until 7 o'clock local time today, as further rainfall is expected. The expected continuation of severe weather could hamper rescue teams who are already facing venomous snakes as they sweep through mud and debris. Meanwhile, Texas Governor Gray Abbott said on Sunday that authorities would stop at nothing to ensure every missing person was found. In a separate development, a jury has found Australian woman Eric Patterson guilty of murdering three relatives with a toxic mushroom lunch. The 50-year-old has also been found guilty of the attempted murder of the sole guest who survived the Beef Wellington Melin meal in 2023. Patterson's much-watched trial in a small Victorian town of Morwell heard evidence suggesting she had hunted down death-cap mushrooms sighted in nearby towns before trying to conceal her crimes by lying to police and decomposing of evidence. Her legal team had argued she unintentionally foraged lethal fungi, then panicked upon accidental poisoning family members she loved. Meanwhile, the jury today ruled she did it intentionally. Recall that three people died in hospital in the days after the meal on 29 July 2023. Patterson's former in-laws, Don Patterson, age 70, and Gail Patterson, age 72, as well as Gail's sister, Helen Wilkinson, age 66. Local pastor Elaine Wilkinson, Hilton's husband, recovered after weeks of treatment in hospital. Patterson's entrenched partner, Seaman Patterson, had also been invited to the lunch but pulled out at the last minute. She was originally accused of attempting to murder him too on several occasions, but those charges were dropped on the eve of the trial and allegations were not put to the jury. Let's move now to Europe, where Russian Defense Ministry said Russia's air defense unit shot down 8 Ukrainian drones headed for Moscow late on Sunday, from a total of 90 overnight over Russian territory, the Black Sea, and the Crimean Peninsula. Most came down over regions near Ukraine, but three were also destroyed over the Leningrad area, home to Russia's second in Petersburg, the ministry said on a Telegram messaging app today. The ministry reports only the number of drones destroyed, not the numbers launched by Ukraine. Also, it did not report possible damage, but regional governors said the attacks caused no substantial damage. Away from that, Greece has rescued hundreds of migrants off its southern islands of Gavdos and Creta in five separate incidents since Friday, its Coast Guard said today. More than 430 immigrants were spotted and rescued about 25 nautical miles off Gavdos, Greece's southernmost island on Sunday, the Coast Guard said in a statement. In a separate incident, also on Sunday, the European Union's Frontex border agencies rescued 93 migrants on board two boats off Creta, the Coast Guard said. The migrants are now being taken to Creta, Greece's largest and most populous island. Away from that, a 14-man team of engineers from the UK has begun assessing a state-of-art British fighter jet stuck at an airport in India for more than 3 weeks now. The F-35B landed on 14 June at the Indian airport in the southern state of Kerala, where it was diverted after it ran into bad weather during a sortie in the Indian Ocean. The plane then reported a technical snag and was unable to return to the HMS Prince of Wales, the Royal Navy's flagship carrier. Its prolonged presence on Indian soil has sparked curiosity and raised questions about how such a modern aircraft could remain stranded in a foreign country for so long. In the meantime, Prime Minister Keir Starmer, Tory leader Kemi Badenoch, and former Prime Minister Theresa May are among politicians and other dignitaries attending a memorial service at St. Paul's Cathedral. Today marks the 20th anniversary of the 7/7 London bombings, during which four bombers attacked central London, killing 52 people and injuring hundreds more. At 8:49 BST on 7 July 2005, three devices were detonated on London Underground trains at Aldgate, at Wareham Road, and Russell Square. A fourth device exploded on a double-decker bus in Tavistock Square an hour later. Memorial services are, however, taking place throughout the day to remember the victims. Their families have also been gathering at the scenes of the attacks. Meanwhile, the King sent a message of unity to mark the 20th anniversary of the bombings. We're going a short break right now. When we return, we'll take a look at the situation in Kenya. And just so you know, it's been reported that Kenya police fired tear gas, water cannons on anniversary of pro-democracy protests. We'll be right back. Many thanks for staying tuned. Let's move now to Africa, where Kenyan police fired tear gas and water cannons to disperse protesters in the capital, Nairobi, today as a mark the 35th anniversary of pro-democracy rallies. Activists rally every year on July 7th to mark the date in 1990 when opponent of then-President Daniel Arap Moi launched a bid to transform the country into a multi-party democracy. The protest is called Saba Saba 77 in Kiswahili because of the date. Authorities have ramped up police deployment in Nairobi since youth-led protests in June 2024 that initially focused on tax hikes but expanded to cover issues such as graft, police brutality, and unexplained disappearance of government critics. And in Nigeria banks have resumed the use of Naira debit cards for international transactions and online payment more than 3 years after a financial institution suspended the service due to acute dollar shortages. The move by the bank signaled improved dollar availability following reforms under President Bola Tinubu, who in June 2023 scrapped currency controls, increasing the flow of dollars into the economy. GT Bank, among the largest by market value, said Naira debit cards could now be used with a limit of $1,000 a quarter. The quarterly limit covers all transactions, including ATM cash withdrawals, purchases on international website, POS point of sales payment outside Nigeria, and many more. The bank said in a notice to customers, Stanbic IBTC, a local unit of South African Standard Bank. Away from that, In the Middle East, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is due to meet with US President Donald Trump at the White House today, while Israeli officials hold indirect talks with Hamas aimed at US broker Gaza hostage release and ceasefire deal. Trump had said that there was a good chance such a deal could be reached this week. The right-wing Israeli leader said he believed his discussions with Trump would help advance talks underway in Qatar. Meanwhile, it will be Trump's, it will be Netanyahu's third White House visit since Trump returned to office in January and follows Trump's orders last month for US airstrikes against Iran and a subsequent ceasefire halting the 12-day Israel-Iran war. Israel is hoping that its 12-day war with Iran will also pave the way for new diplomatic opportunities in the region. Still in the Middle East, the Israeli military says it has carried out airstrikes on Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen in response to repeated missiles and drone attacks on Israel. The military said the targets were the Red Sea port of Hodeidah, Ras Isa, and Al Salif, a nearby power station, and a cargo ship Galaxy Leader. The ship, hijacked by Houthi in November 2023, was being used to monitor international shipping, according to the military. The Houthi military spokesman said the Iran-backed group's air defense successfully confronted the Israeli attack. There were no reports of any casualty following the strikes. Two missiles were launched from Yemen towards Israel, according to the Israeli military. Lastly, the news at this hour. Police in Pakistan have arrested the owners of a pet lion that attacked a woman and her three young children after it escaped. Dramatic CCTV footage from the eastern city of Lahore showed how the big cat leapt over a concrete wall and chased the woman down as terrified onlookers ran for safety. Authorities said the woman and her children, aged 5 and 7, sustained injuries to their arms and faces but are now in a stable condition. Police have accused the lion owners of keeping a wild animal without a license and negligence, leading to its escape. The lion was captured and moved to a wildlife park. And that's all we have for you today on Worldview. Do ensure to follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website at spectrumtvlive.ng. You have been watching Worldview on Spectrum TV. Do enjoy the rest of your day and thank you for watching.